my gosh, okay, so this is it, guys. This is it. Today is the day. In front of us is the National Corvette Museum, and we are taking delivery of the first ever new 2023 C8 Corvette Z06 to be delivered here across the street from the factory. I've been here for a few days, just I'm kind of hovering around, just waiting for the moment, and today's the moment. I get to finally see the car in person and drive it home. 2,000 miles. That's the Stingray Grill. Last time I was here, it's called the Corvette Cafe, I believe. But let me park right here to the left of it, and let's head inside. The day has finally come. Here we go, walking inside the National Corvette Museum. We got the cameras on right up there, so if you're watching from home, this is such an exciting moment. Hey, it's happening live. It's happening live. All my paperwork right here saying I own the car. Let's go ahead and head on inside and see what it's like. And then here we are with Stacy. How you doing, man? Great.
I'm doing good. Good to see you again.
Great to see you again. It's been a while, right?
Yes,
a little bit.
Years, yeah.
I cannot believe what we're doing today. This is the first delivered Z06 here again, right?
Absolutely.
And
first one.
you're the best guy for the job to show me what it's like. 'Cause I had so much fun with you last time. Dude, you're famous, man. You're on the largest viewed museum delivered video on the internet, and now we're taking a look at the ultimate Corvette yet. It's insane getting a look at it, but I have all my paperwork right here, so what's the next steps of the process?
Well, good deal. Like I say, there's a little bit of paperwork we'll go through, make some copies, some stuff I need to give to you. We'll get all that out of the way, and then, man, we'll start with
let's get the boring stuff out of the way. What are we doing right now?
Absolutely.
Come on, let's go. Alrighty, so what do we have here? All the paperwork, all the good fun stuff, right?
Absolutely. Well, here's a copy of your owner's manual.
Okay.
And,
got the owner's manual, the
owner's
Z06
manual,
owner's manual.
and anybody can go online and actually download that onto their phone
Really?
or computer. It makes it very handy.
Perfect. And then is that?
This is your museum delivery plaque, and of course we're going to send you a nameplate here with your name on it.
Check this out, guys. RHC Museum Delivery, and that's the code, right?
That is the
in
code,
your ordering
yes,
system. So now you know you learned something just now. But perfect. So that's coming home with me.
Yep, that's going home with you.
Oh, perfect. I'll put that back on. This is fun. It's always nice having all the memorabilia, right? What's that?
And we got this a little bit late. That's why it's not on the car yet. But this is the museum delivery plaque that goes inside your car.
Wow.
It has the original one on right now that says Z06 70th anniversary. And this is the one that has your name, the little Corvette emblem,
Wow,
or a museum emblem, and
So this will mount inside.
mount inside the car.
Wow. And it says Speed Phenom. This is the official Speed Phenom car. So just for you guys to know that. But I definitely would want to do this when possible. And I like how it still says 70th.
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
It. So you're not losing the 70th edition logo right on top. I'll put that down.
Of course, this is your museum delivery decal. We'll put this inside the driver's side door. That way everybody looks your car, know you're doing museum delivery. And then I also prepared or printed out a track preparation guide. From the GM website. It gives a ton of good information in here. This being our first Z06, I thought probably anybody that gets a Z06 needs to go through this and read about it. There's some interesting stuff in here that not necessarily, it's in the manual, but it's kind of hidden. But in here, it'll tell you everything you need to know.
That's perfect for me, man. I'll be studying this across the country. Oh, that's interesting. So then it says, track, competitive driving, wait till 1,500 miles. Then 500 miles, do not drive at one constant speed, fluctuate RPM. This is gonna be interesting stuff, man. First break-in for a Z06, right? This will be the first one, really? With miles being put on it, going across the country?
That's it.
He knows it, yeah. It's gonna be true.
As far as paperwork, I think we have completed everything.
Perfect.
Let's go out and start taking a look at the car.
Oh my gosh, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go take a look at this new Z06.
This has been a long time in the waiting. Can I open the door?
Yep.
3 years, or I think it was 2 years ago, I was here picking up a C8 Stingray. Now, this is next level. This is, let's check this thing out. So right away, the only Z06 in the showroom, right? Absolutely. More on the way, or what?
Yeah, we have, actually I have another one tomorrow.
Really?
Our second one, and we have, I think, 2 more this week.
So they're finally coming out, right?
Coming out.
Oh my gosh, it looks so aggressive. How is this a Corvette? I mean, the body lines, look how much wider the rear end is with those exit vents down below, and then the black exhaust tips. Yeah, you gotta Gotta get those black exhaust tips, right?
They're beautiful.
Do you mind if you give us a rundown, kind of like you would give anyone who walks in, who's, let's say, they hasn't necessarily owned a Corvette before, the full experience of what it's like getting the white glove treatment here at the museum, learning about your brand new supercar in this case.
Exactly. Well, usually what we do, like I said, we going through the paperwork, we get that out of the way first so we can have some fun the rest of the day. And then I usually try to find out, the owner, have they owned? How many Corvettes have they owned? They own a C7, a C8, because there's some things that, we kind of assume they know or would like already. Yeah. And then when we come out going through it, sometimes we find out, well, they bought it at the dealer and they never told them any of these items. All right, Austin, first thing we're going to talk about is the fobs here. I know you've had other Corvettes, but you can always tell these apart. One has a black Corvette emblem, one has a chrome emblem. And sometimes they'll be different, depends on how they come from the factory. But the black one in your case is number 1.
Okay.
And the chrome one is number 2, tied to all the number 1, 2 seat functions and things inside the car. Now also when I set the car up, I turn on things that do not come turned on from the factory. For example, I turned on passive lock and unlock. I don't know if you had it on your other cars, but when you walk up to the car, as long as you got the fob in your pocket and you touch the button for the trunk or doors, the car unlocks automatically.
Okay.
And when you get out and walk away, the car will lock automatically without touching the fob and have it to give the little horn chirp, which we can turn off. And again, if it's something you don't like, we can disengage.
No, that's perfect. You know how to set these things up.
The next thing we're going to do, I have it set up where anytime the car locks, it is going to fold the mirrors in.
Perfect.
Anytime we unlock,
oh, yeah, let me get a shot of that.
The mirrors are going to fold out.
So if you lock it again, it'll go back in?
Yeah, they'll go back in. And again,
Perfect.
Something you can have on or off. I prefer to have it on.
I think the way you've done it is the exact way I would do it. Especially this thing is so nice, man. You don't want no one freaking hitting your mirrors or door dinging, exactly. Nothing like that. I'm going to be pretty worried about my drive back, but that's the excitement, isn't it? The adventure?
Absolutely.
What else we got?
Well, the next thing on the fob here, it's a little bit different than, especially the C7s, you had to remotely start the car. You had to hit lock and hold. With the new C8s, Z06 is the same way. Just hit this button 2 times. I'm going to fire it up.
Oh, really? We're going to do it? We're going to do it? First start up? That's insane. This is the loudest car on Corvette Boulevard, right? The loudest one. How is this a Corvette, man? Oh my gosh. And that's not even loud mode, is it?
That'll wake you up in the morning.
Oh yeah, well that's my goal. I want to wake up the neighbors. I don't care if they think.
You see it's whitening down.
You're right.
But it does have that mild start, just like the Stingrays. And then it's going to depend on what mode you have it set in. And then to shut the car off, you just hit the button 1 time. And actually it would run for 30 minutes and auto shut off.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Real quickly, I just noticed something staying on the left. This wasn't on any other Z06 that I saw at press events or even at car shows. It says carbon arrow on the side of the rear spoiler. So this is a special thing for the Aero Pack cars or Z07 equipped vehicles. That's new?
To be honest with you, I can't answer. I don't know because this is the first one we've had. So.
We just learned something new. Look at that. I wonder if it's on the non-exposed carbon fiber versions of the spoiler out back.
That's a good question.
But I love how the rear spoiler just kicks up towards the back with the angle of attack, but then it goes down the middle, which I presume that's because of the rear end visibility, right, with the camera?
That is correct.
I know something at least.
Gives you better visibility, and the clean air is actually on the outside. So that's
right.
Where it needs the height, and you get the clean air.
Right. Look at all the clean air that's going to travel straight down the side, right to the corners of the spoiler for the maximum downforce. Come on, man. This thing, it's an engine car. The engine in here is insane. Well, might have to check it out or what?
Let's take a look.
Let's do it. All righty, pop it open. Wow. First time seeing it. Who built it? Let's see. Mike Ward, right?
Exactly.
Wow. So this uses was 5W50, right?
5W50, and actually the Z06, different from the Stingray, takes 8 quarts of oil with the filter change versus 7.5 on the Stingray.
And then you check it the same way by heating it up to 175 degrees, was it?
Yes, the oil temperature needs to be up to at least 170, 175 degrees, and the car needs to be idling to check the oil level. And that's all because of the dry sump system. That you have to do that. Of course, if you checked it cold or you checked it without idling, it's going to say it's low.
That makes sense.
And
You're
it
right.
is not. And the worst thing in the world you can do with a dry sump system is overfill it.
I heard too, when you do an oil change, you got to heat it up beforehand, and then because
Yes, good idea. Yeah,
it'll start
absolutely.
moving out of the drain pan down below, right?
Absolutely.
So what do we got down here? This is some of the parts that come with the vehicle. This is the first time anyone's really seeing like the unboxed version of a Z06, isn't it?
These are the strakes that go underneath the car. You might be able to see it here.
Oh yeah, in the corners.
But it actually changes the airflow from underneath the car and brings the air out the side of the car.
Yep, you're right. I learned from the team that basically this is a really clean way to get more downforce without sacrificing drag. Because it creates like a suction effect of air traveling at different speeds, top and bottom. So that's
rid of some of the lift.
Yep, you're right. Oh my gosh, I gotta get that mounted ASAP for all the track work. That's why I got the Z07, because look at this thing, man. Come on, all the aero. I cannot say no to more downforce, as you would expect for going faster and faster, right? So you still have the targa top, right? That can pop off, snap in the back.
You do. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we could actually. Oh, could you imagine driving this without the roof on? It's still technically convertible, isn't it?
Put it in here. We'll have to set these out.
Sounds good.
But we'll take it out. Let's take a look at these. First time I've seen them as well. But these are the strakes that go underneath the car.
Wow.
I can see they've got probably some screws they're going to fasten in, and there's a little bit of tape here. There should be 2 on each side that go under there and direct the air out.
It seems like it's like a hard rubber type finish. Actually, it's pretty soft. Maybe it'll be easier to mount like this, and then if anything makes contact, it won't be as severe. Like if it's like maybe carbon or some hard material that can crack.
Exactly.
But this probably won't?
This probably won't.
Wow. And in total, how many do you have? So it's 2 on each side?
2 on each side, so there's 4 pieces.
One thing I made sure to get coming down again were the black exhaust tips. It was about like $500, I believe, but it is really interesting seeing how this is mounted. They ever teach you any like interesting facts regarding the rear bumper and these exhausts? I know there's so much really there, right?
Exactly. And that's a little different than, quite different than the Stingray, because the Stingray's pipes come out, they're welded, the tips are welded onto the pipes. These, if you look inside here, you can see the pipes that are coming out of the engine. And then these tips are mounted to the fascia. And when you put the fascia on, they just set over the tips. And apparently that helps give some of the sound reverberation back to inside the car, so you can hear the Z06 better.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think you're right. I think I remember hearing something about that during the official launch. Yeah. It's so cool seeing the way they've like have all these detailed holes finished throughout the outer exhaust tips. And I believe, as you were saying, this is all to help with the sound reverberation to go back and enhance the entire experience of the vehicle. I think it's gonna be interesting finding out how loud it really is for like the track.
It's pretty loud.
Because in person, it's loud, and
it's very loud. Yeah.
This is going to be turning a lot of heads, especially across the country. Hopefully, the majority of people who are getting them here will drive them back for a good distance, because it's a special car and they need to be driven and not in the garage or flipped. Some people do that kind of stuff, and that's not fun. So does the Z06 still have the rear like keyhole to open up the car if it like dies?
Well, we still have the key. Now, if the battery goes dead in the fob, the way you would get in the car, you would push the little button, pull the key out. But for 2023, they have gotten rid of the keyhole.
Oh, wow.
Actually, the hole is still there, but there's nothing behind it for the trunk. You cannot get in the trunk now with the key. Before 2023, you could. You could put the key in. You see right there?
Yep.
You could put the key in and turn it just like the C7s, and you could open the trunk. Now you cannot. But what you would use this key for is to get in the door.
Okay,
so if the battery's dead in the fob, come around here.
Alrighty.
You would not be able to open the door at all because the battery's dead in the fob. I'm gonna open it to show you a little better. But what you would do is take this key like this. You would reach up and under here. And if you feel right here on this back wall, there's a V up here at the top. It's just a V so you can locate your finger. If you go up above it,
Oh, I can see it now.
There's a circle.
Angle.
Yeah, you can probably see it on
Yep,
this one.
right there.
Stingrays, you can't see it. It's just blind. But this one you can see.
Luckily, you're teaching me this now because I would never find that at all.
But you put the key up in the hole, you can turn it left or right. That will open your door and get you inside the car. Now also, if the battery was dead in the car, to get in to crank it, it doesn't recognize the fob because the battery's dead. So what you would need to do is open the cup holder and set this fob flat down in the back cup holder, and you can crank the car and drive it away.
That interior.
Even if the battery's dead in the fob.
This is the first time seeing the interior of the Z06. This is wild, absolutely wild. It's got all the carbon fiber finished everywhere. It was a pretty pricey option. It's about like, I think, $5,000, but
look at it.
it looks insane, guys. But please let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of the build with the red paint job, the huge yellow brakes? The yellow brakes, I think, help make it pop to show off how big they really are, because they're massive carbon ceramics. And then not just that, with having the little hints here and there in the interior to match the yellow. This is exotic. Exactly. This is like, it's bold, and it makes you really look at and appreciate all the crazy body lines and details all throughout.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
Alrighty, Stacy, what do you have right there, man? What are you looking at?
We got the official RHC Museum delivery decal.
Okay.
So that way anybody takes a look at your car will know that you came all the way to Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yes.
And did museum delivery.
And Stacy, the best guy here, did a phenomenal job on showing me what this new mid-engine supercar is all about. Let's face it, this thing, you know, it's a lot of money, but getting an experience like this with you guys, this is white glove. This is what I like about it.
So let me show you where this goes, and we'll apply it on here.
Thank you, dude.
We are going to put it right here, right below the tire pressure sticker. Does that look okay for you?
Yeah, that's a cool spot
where she
for
goes. So
I don't know how you do it. I'd be so bad with mounting a sticker on the car.
Well, I've only put 2 or 3 on upside down. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh, that's so funny.
I've done many of them.
I'm sure you have. It's so cool seeing it on the car when you open the door, because everyone, you know, who knows Corvette instantly sees it and they say, oh, yep, I did that too, or I know exactly what that is. And here we have it, RHC Museum Delivery, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Right there. Oh my. Dude, that intake is massive.
It's huge, isn't it? But this is quite different than the Stingrays. You have a lot bigger radiator here.
Really interesting seeing how the body kind of like contours outwards right here, then in. Yep. Maybe it affects the airspeed traveling in to capture it all for the engine, but
the way that the air flows with the lines of the car, I mean, it's always feeding massive amounts of air.
It looks night and day different.
Exactly.
Night and day different than the Stingray.
Exactly.
That, to me, the Stingray looks phenomenal, but it just looks much smaller. This is so huge, and with the boomerang style up, here we go, start up over there to the left. We'll be doing that soon, right, for the exit.
Exactly. Quick thing, Austin, we was talking about this massive airflow that's coming in from the sides, but bringing air into the engine, there's actually 3 air valves in the intake portion that have valves that open or close that let more or less air in all throughout the RPM range.
Wow.
And it really helps the car just, you know, keep pulling and get to that high RPM. And it does change the exhaust sound a little bit too when you first crank the car or as you're getting on.
Alrighty, Stacy, can we pop up the roof, put it in the trunk? Still fit?
Yeah, I always tell everybody, anytime you get ready to take the top off, make sure you got the trunk open and always up to the 2nd level, because when you take this top off, you got to have somewhere to go with it. You don't want to set it on the ground or whatever. Yeah. So let's go around and take it off.
Well, this is going to be interesting having this huge spoiler in the back, the wing, because it's going higher and more towards the front of the car on the corner. So it'll be harder to get in, you think?
From what I've seen, the high wing, I'm short. The high wing on the Stingray, it takes 2 people. You basically have to have somebody on each side, especially somebody short like me, because the wing's up here. This one, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Because it kind of goes down towards the middle.
It gives you more visibility, and
I guess we're going to find out.
It's not going to be a problem with
This will be a very expensive mistake if anything happens.
Exactly.
So I'm crossing my fingers. There's so much carbon on this car. You got to order the car with all the carbon because the carbon roof finishes it off. There's carbon everywhere. Then you can see the weave, how it matches up perfectly towards the center. This is insane. But is the process the same then? Popping it off, right? Opening up the door?
Open up the door.
Visor is going down.
All 4 fingers straight out to click.
Got it.
And this one, always be careful. If you're reading the manual, it just says press that button. This will hurt you. It's spring loaded, so always hold on to the back, push the button, and ease it down.
Wow, it still has all the yellow stitching on the inside too for the roof, for the carbon roof.
Quite nice.
Oh my gosh. Let's get this thing up and see how it looks with all the lighting coming on the interior. Ready? So just push up on the side.
Pop up, lift out.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna hand it to you.
Alrighty. To be honest, I don't know if I can feel a weight difference, but there probably is one. This is insane. Looking at a big piece of carbon fiber in front of me, but can you help me out with this side?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so how do we do this part?
So we're gonna set it in like this, and then angle it back.
Right there.
And then if you look and see how much room you have here versus over here, it's perfect. And then all you do, put your palm of your hand on that side, 1, 2, 3, push. And we're
And now
snapped
we've
in.
got a convertible Z06, so you can still see the engine with the coupe, and have the top down, and listen to that exhaust at all times. This is insane. You guys, check this out on this side with the light hitting all the carbon fiber. Yeah, I think it's worth the money. Yeah, I know it's an expensive option. It's just carbon fiber everywhere, this whole entire panel. I just gotta be careful. I can't scratch this at all. But one cool feature I did get with it is just stealth finish all throughout, which you can see right underneath the main display. It gives black accents, so all the parts will be chrome and shiny, other than this transmission selector are black, but they're still shiny. However, I think with the carbon fiber and the blacked out finishes, it's just perfect. And the steering wheel, this is optional carbon fiber steering wheel with, I think it's a painted yellow stripe that's underneath, I think, this clear coat layer, so everything is perfectly smooth. Carbon fiber instrument cluster.
Also, let's go around and take a look at the front.
Perfect. Wow, look at the arrow on this thing, dude.
Absolutely, that is absolutely beautiful.
This is a track weapon,
Look
right?
how much wider this is with all the
The blades, I think, are they sticking out a bit further than the width of the car? Imagine like being someone in front of us, in front of me driving, looking back on that front fascia.
That's crazy.
This is, I mean, the craziest looking Corvette I have ever seen. But you said you're going to be opening the trunk and showing what's
and
inside?
a couple things, just like the normal Stingray, you still have the button here that you just push and hold. Still a 2-step latch. So I'm gonna close it back. 1, 2. Perfect. And on the fob, you know, they have changed that since the beginning. It used to be a push to open the front.
Yeah.
Now it is push hold.
Really?
So I'm gonna have to do it again.
That's a change, isn't it?
Push hold.
I would never known that. So what do we got
inside
in
here we have a few things. This is for your carbon ceramic brakes. If you were going to have to pull a wheel for whatever reason, you need to put this over your rotors before you pull the wheel off.
Wow.
That keeps you from banging or chip. Those are, you know, you can chip those really easy.
Yeah, you are right.
But that's what these are for.
I've never seen a car brand actually give stuff like this to you. And doing the plant tour yesterday, I saw how these were on the rotors at all times.
Yep.
So that's an interesting, the exotic brand's interesting. I guess I can lay this
just lay them right there for
right
now.
here. So what do we got next?
This is the front license plate.
Oh yeah, we
bracket.
gotta throw that one away.
Yeah.
You guys didn't see that.
Nobody needs to run these. And just one other quick note. Reading through the track prep, I didn't realize it, but if you run a front license plate or you don't, they recommend, if you're going to track, to pull this piece out.
So this center piece, that's the carbon flash.
Pull that out.
So the
give you more air.
edge would be right here then, following this line up.
Yep.
Giving you more effective cooling up front.
That's correct.
Wow, that is definitely something I do want to do when I get back. Because as you're saying, the more cooling, the better, right, for the racetrack. I love how they have all these really cool upgrade pieces, or you can customize the car to your liking, right? Even though it's stock, it's ready to go to the track. but then you can take it further to really make it even more and more track capable for that use scenario.
That's great. It's amazing.
It's really cool. And is removal pretty easy though? When you,
I don't know.
Like
I say, I haven't done one yet.
It's a learning process. The first one, right, delivered here.
And then here's the rest of your brake duct.
Brake ducts, got it.
Because you know this part here is for track use only.
Yeah.
It is very low to the ground. And of course they recommend not running these on the street, because if you think about it, it would bring dirt, water, if it's roads are wet, everything into your brakes. Yeah. And they assume if you're on the track, it's going to be nice and
smooth, buttery smooth. But
exactly.
Then you watch some of these tracks with big, curbs and bumps. And I'll be honest, like I installed these on my both seats I had before, and they did a phenomenal job staying on, and then they didn't even get damaged. But I understand even for the street though, if they want.
That's what they recommend.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
I'm gonna set these back in, and just another quick thing, just a reminder. I mean, underneath here, of course, you got your windshield washer fluid, your brake fluid. Of course, this takes DOT4 now, and there is some stuff in the track prep about using a higher temperature.
Okay.
Your battery, of course, is set in here, and you have the front lift system, so there's another reservoir setting right here.
So the front lift system reservoir is right here?
Yes, it takes DOT4 brake fluid as well.
Wow.
And then, of course, someday, if you had to get to the battery or whatever, this piece right here is separate. I can get my fingers under it. And it's got 4 clips that go in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to pop this to the inside, set it out. Pop that one to the inside, set it out. And then you can get your fingers under this panel, pop it up, set it out, and you can get to your reservoir, you can get to your battery, or whatever you need to do.
Perfect. So bending down even more, you still have all the side corner cameras for parking. All the amenities are still there, but you have all the extra performance. Good question for you. What all else was with the PDI process? Because I know when I was touring the assembly plant yesterday, I believe the front splitter wasn't installed, but the side dive planes actually were. So this was installed here?
Yes, that is correct. It's a 3-piece splitter. Your right centerpiece, and then the left. These were installed here with our PDI department. My understanding is it's hard for them. They can't put them on the trucks with these on here.
Okay.
And if you feel underneath here, it's pretty deep.
It's actually really smooth underneath,
really smooth.
And I can see the bolt mounting points directly in the middle. Really cool. And the side underbody strikes be going right next to the wheels on either side. I realize it's kind of blurry down there, but hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Right now it's smooth because it's easier for the street driving.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I think looking closer, these are the brake ducts, right? On either side of these radiators.
And they are huge.
They are they are huge. They're much larger than, I think, the C8 Stingray. Did they have the brake ducts in the middle?
No, not like that.
No, not like that.
Nope.
This is just beyond aggressive.
And actually, if you stow luggage or anything in here, this is recessed. So you can actually overstuff just a little bit.
Hey, that's good for weight savings, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, when you let it down, there is no self-cinching like the back. Just set it down, give it a quick click, and always give it the second
Always
click.
double click.
Yep,
It'll
exactly.
never have any issues there. But yeah, the width of this vehicle just looks insane in person. Much wider than the C8 Stingray as is.
Yeah, you can actually see it over the fender here. How much wider and how the air flows through the sides and even the hood through the sides of the cars. And look where all that air is going to end up going right into your intakes.
Look how the front, the body line just kind of protrudes up, showing you just how much wider it really is. I think altogether, I learned it was like over 3 inches wider all around, so like 1.5 inches on either side. But it's cool because the body line goes back in. So the front fenders are sticking out and the rear fenders are sticking out. Then you have the cockpit right there in the middle. I think backing up, standing over here, look at that profile, man. Oh my gosh. That looks like an exotic car to me, 100%. I cannot wait to see this thing on the track. Well, I won't see it on the track. I'll be driving the car, but other people seeing the car on the track, chasing and taking down cars that cost a lot of money, and it's gonna sound and look good doing it, right?
All right, let's take a look at these new wheels and calipers I'm gonna slide this out of the way.
This is a pretty expensive combo. Carbon ceramic brakes, the biggest ones I think on a Corvette.
Absolutely.
And then the biggest carbon fiber wheels all around on a vehicle.
And these wheels, and these are huge to begin with, but these are so nice.
Oh yeah, expensive.
So
I think it was 11,000, but totally worth it because when you're on track with these things, the car feels like it's 100 pounds lighter. And then not just that, they retune the steering calibration as well. So it's a night and day difference. Anyone who says that I can lose the 30 pounds or 40 pounds, they'll never do that to begin with, right? But
Exactly.
you'll never get close to the performance benefits of these because this is rotating mass, right?
Exactly.
This affects the whole car. Look how slick these tires are. How is it going to be, you think, for the cross-country driving, Stacy?
I think it's going to be great. The only thing with these Cup 2 tires now, you need to be a little careful if you run into, some moisture or wet on the road.
Oh yeah.
Not like a normal tire.
Not
but
like a normal tire. Luckily, they are still run flats, though, right?
They
so
are.
that if anything happens
They are run
in the
flats.
middle of the country, at least I'm not stuck with a flat tire with fully beautiful carbon fiber exposed wheels from Australia.
There you go. Just one other little quick comment. Reading in the track manual and stuff for these cars, especially with the carbon fiber wheels, just always make sure you do a cool down
Oh, yep.
after driving the car because the rotors and everything are really hot and they don't want it to set in one position with them that hot. So always do a cool down lap, let them cool down or move. It said if you had to stop, red flag or something, just ease the car forward or backwards to keep it from being in one spot.
You are completely right because I learned from the Carbon Revolution team that that's what this coating is in the middle. That's a heat coating. So that's why it's white. It's not because they chose the color white because it looked cool for the wheels. It's because it helps with the cooling. And as you know, even the color white to begin with, that doesn't get as hot as black. Altogether, though, they said to always make sure these are clean. But the good part is having carbon ceramics, you don't quite have the brake dust, do you?
That's correct.
As
That is
standard brakes. But one thing I will do, man, and I can't believe I didn't figure this out ahead of time. I know that the lug nuts are shiny. They're not black right now. I didn't realize on the order sheet you could choose black lug nuts. I thought they came stock like that, but I'll be ordering that and then ASAP locking lug nuts because I don't want no one trying to take my huge 20-inch carbon wheels up front and the huge 345 wide 21-inch wheels out back. Again, look how insane this thing is. And I chose the yellow brakes too because it really makes how big the calipers are pop to your eyes. Like backing up, you can see exactly where the brakes are and how aggressive they really are. Anyway, Stacy, mind if we hop inside and start getting the interior tour?
Absolutely.
Then start maybe starting it up and seeing what it's like.
Let's do it.
Opening up the door to the Z06. With all the exposed carbon. So you can see the interior much better now, having the top off with the light coming in. But this is really insane. You gotta get the comp seats. You 100% have to get the comp seats because it finishes off the track car that it really is. Being careful getting inside. It says Z06 down below. Wow. Love the Alcantara suede finish right there. I keep saying Alcantara, but this is called micro suede from Chevrolet. And the yellow stitching matches it with all the carbon. Whoa. Is this the coolest interior you've ever seen for a Corvette or what?
This is absolutely gorgeous. All the carbon fiber just, sets it off.
It is, I think you got to get it like this. Because when I was testing out different versions on the drive that Chevy had, I really felt like the ones that didn't have the carbon finish on the steering wheel, it was missing something so big. And while driving, you're going to really notice this in the moment.
I'm coming back around over here. I'll leave this door open. Okay, also let's take a look at a few things. Some things will look very familiar, but just to refresh, we're going to start over here with the door. Of course, you got two buttons down in this cubby hole. The upper button, push it one time, will pop your frunk. Bottom one, push it one time, will open the trunk. Of course, here's our where we can save our seat positions: fob 1, fob 2, driver 1, 2, exit position. Of course, getting out of this, all four fingers, push the button, and make sure you're pushing out on the door. These doors are a little heavier.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you push it without pushing the door, and it'll just clank. And you gotta let go and do it again.
This is a new stealth finish, right? It's all blacked out.
Beautiful.
With the carbon.
Yep.
Oh, check that out. So is that, I've never seen that before on a Corvette, right? That's
I
gotta
have
be
not
new,
either. That is
right?
new, yeah.
Maybe it's Z06 specific. Do you know?
I do not know.
You do not know?
That is really pretty.
We gotta find out. How does it feel? It kind of, so it goes straight in, so it's black stitching, right?
Yep.
That matches the yellow. It makes it look more high quality, to have more dimension to it. Because normally it would just be a straight wall of leather on the side, right?
It's pretty.
This is not standard, right? So this is an option on the vehicle?
Yeah, that's an option that you order. That's correct.
Wow. Isn't it saying the Z06 badge down below, the yellow painted stripe up top? Is everything else pretty much the same?
Pretty much the same. Parking brake, of course, to dim your dash lights, your heads-up display, your options. Of course, your vents are exactly the same. Of course, your light switches and windshield wiper switches are exactly like the Stingray or most other Corvettes as well. Nothing really changes there. Controls on your steering wheel. Of course, it has the Z mode.
Oh yeah.
If people aren't familiar, we'll go over that here in a little bit. And of course, cruise control, which, matter of fact, you don't need to use for the first 500 miles. And of course, your favorite radio stations pull to you. The volume for the radio pulls to you. Steering wheel heater.
Would the carbon be heated up still? Or would it just be the side corners?
The whole steering wheel normally heats up. We'll turn it on and there you go.
Alrighty.
And we'll turn on. Well,
maybe it's gonna be running for that.
Maybe, usually not, but let's try it. Go ahead and fire it up for just a quick second.
Fire it up. Yeah. Can we do loud mode?
It's in it.
We're in loud mode, so my mode, right? You customize
We're in my
this.
mode, and I've got the exhaust set to track. So.
Okay, here we go. Start it up. First start up for a brand new Corvette Z06. Hitting the start button. 500 miles is period I want to get to for the ARP to open up. Yep. And then for track use, you said how long again? 15, right? Yeah,
1,500 miles or you need to get on the car.
So really, we're losing out on, if it's ending at about 6,500 RPM, goes to 8,600. So okay, about 2,000 RPM. Every 1,000 RPM, man, that makes a huge difference, doesn't it, in this kind of a car? The vibrations we're gonna feel driving, I'm just so much in shock.
On the highway, you're gonna, you're not even gonna be close to that red line.
Yeah.
But where you got to be careful is taking off because this thing revs really, really fast.
You're right.
You'll have to keep it below that limit there for a while.
Whoa, look at that! So you can see just how big the rear spoiler is with the HD rear video camera. That is gonna be such a cool sight, isn't it, while driving? Oh my gosh.
That is so neat. And like I say, it dips down so you can still have a good view and still get that airflow over the wing.
Got the downforce, got the grip.
Of course, you can see here on the dash, your car has 7 miles on it. Temperature 165. It should run somewhere between 205 and 210 out on the highway.
Okay.
Of course, you got a full tank of gas. This little box here will tell you the speed limit you're traveling on. And if you look at your red line right now, you'll see it's at 5,500 RPMs. It's recommended you're not getting it over that 55 for the first 500 miles for sure. Once you hit 500 miles, that's going to shift over to 8,600 RPMs on its own. Nothing you have to do. It's just like the Stingray, but it's higher. That's for sure. And then also just a couple of quick things. The first 200 miles, you're kind of breaking in your tires and your brakes, so you don't want to have to get really hard on the brakes or do rapid takeoffs or put your tires in, really side pressure positions. You want to take it pretty easy for the first 200. And then for the 500, you also don't want to get on the highway and drive one speed. Okay, so fluctuate the RPM. Fluctuate the speeds up and down, and that helps. It's not just the engine break in, it's the transmission, it's the bearings, it's everything. You're heating it up, and then you're cooling it down. When should the first oil change be? First oil change should be at 7,500 miles or a year, whichever comes first. Okay. Unless you're tracking the car, and then there's some information in there in the track prep about that as well. Sure. And then mind if I change out the modes to like track? No, go ahead. Same displays, right? Up, okay, got deeper and louder. Now let's go to track. And I've actually got the car set up where it's going to change the display every time you change drive modes. Great. And you can change that, set it to 1, or in my mode and Z mode, you can set those separately than all the rest of them. So for example, let me show you here real quick. Let's go to Z mode. And if I go over here to, I'm gonna go to design. Oh, this is something different I need to show you while I'm here too. Anytime you have the track display, you can change the tachometer. That's the traditional, or you can change it to a numerical tachometer.
Oh my gosh, this is like a fighter jet now with the carbon fiber everywhere, and then seeing the lights go directly into the middle. So basically the shift lights, what you would see with the heads-up display right there in front of us, right? But that is now on the front display.
Yep. So we can set that one separately than all the rest of them. That's tachometer. I go to display design. I can set Z mode separately. Right now I have everything set for track, but if you wanted it to be in sport or weather, if I hit sport, you can see we can change it and it will be separate than all the rest of them.
So what's the difference between Z mode and then my mode down here in the main cluster?
Well, on Z mode, you get a few more options. Meaning, I'm gonna go out of Z mode here for a second. Let me change this back and I'll show you exactly. I'm gonna go out of Z mode for a minute.
Okay.
And you see we came back up in tour. Go to my mode real quick. We can set the steering, the suspension, the brake feel, and the sound.
By hitting edit, right?
By hitting edit. We can set it however we want it.
So max steering feel, max suspension, or max braking.
And when you change it, it's going to ask you to save it. It's going to pop up and say okay, usually. But anyway, you can set those 1, 2, 3, 4 items. Now, if I go to Z mode, I'm gonna bring it up in Z mode. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items.
So you have the performance traction management system. So I can save the race 2 mode, the most aggressive mode.
You can
hit one button.
You can.
Wow.
Now I'm gonna show you something about that. I'm gonna go out of this for a second, and I'm gonna go back to it. If you want to set up to an aggressive mode, you have to put the suspension full out. Well, I'm out here, and then you can select the performance track management. Okay. That's going to ask you to save it. Hit OK. We're going to save it. Now, I'm going to go out of it again for real quick. Now, when I go back, if I hit Z mode, it's going to ask me, do I want to hit it again? Yes. And it takes me directly to track mode. You know what's so funny is that I've had 2 C8s now, and I did not know you can use Z mode to do that. Yep. You just taught me something, again, new that I didn't even know. This is why the guys here are the pros. You get the full experience of what it's like buying a special, unique car like this. And man, you're making this so memorable. I cannot believe this. We still have all the PDR systems, right? Yep. Is the steering wheel getting warm? Oh my gosh. It was. It got warm all the way around.
The carbon is actually warm.
It is.
This is actually warm. I have carbon fiber that is heated up right now. So if it's cold and you guys say, oh, your carbon fiber is too cold, it's freezing. Nope, just grab it. And it's warm.
It's warm.
Just like that, right? That is so awesome. Still have all the PDR settings. Does it come with a SD card with it? Or do I need to install?
It does not. If you have one, we'll install it. And now something that's different too, before you had to go in and turn PDR on by pushing the on button.
Okay.
You can now go in with the settings and set it up where it starts every time you start the car automatically.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, you know what I just realized? Took me a second, but that's a Z06.
It is.
On the PDR system.
It sure is.
An actual Z06.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. This carbon though, it's gonna be take a second to get used to it. It's like it's hard instead of the soft leather and stuff, but I like it. It's serious. Reminds me of the race car vibe, 100%. There's all the amenities of heated and cooled seats. The seats can tighten around you with the bolsters, right? And you can adjust for any track position you want. And then, as you're teaching me, you can save that.
Save the positions.
Wow. I think that's pretty much it, or anything else?
Well, let me show you a couple more special features that come with the Z06. Okay. Now this, move your seat up where you can hold the brake good or find a good position for you.
Gotcha.
Okay, and I'm going to put your parking brakes can't be on for one of them. Let me come around and get the other side.
Come on around. Shut in the door to the Z06. Alrighty. Oh wow. The carbon finish going over the dashboard. Yeah, that looks crazy. Look at the window. We have more carbon fiber on either side. So what do you want to show me, Stacy?
A couple things. First, what I'd like for you to do, if you don't mind, put your foot on the brake and hold it. And we need to put the car in drive.
So So we are in drive.
We're in drive. Okay, so let's just talk about declutching. So you pull in both paddles. We are in drive mode. When the D for drive turns blue and flashes, you are in neutral.
All right,
so you can rev the car or whatever.
So while driving, you can rev it away.
Yes, and then when you let go of the paddles, it is going to take back off pretty slowly. You see it just a little bit of hesitation. Seconds. And then the next thing, standard exit, which is basically what we talked about. If you declutch, go ahead and pull in. And if you rev the car to a certain RPM or whatever, then you can let go of the paddles, and it's going to take off a little harder.
That's right, yeah.
But it's still a little bit slow. And then the next thing is called rapid exit. And then on rapid exit, you would pull both paddles, and you would basically push the pedal to the floor until you hit the rev limiter. And then as soon as you hit the rev limiter real quickly, you let go of the paddles. And that is called rapid exit.
That's right. So you click and hold, and then I think you let go of the left one, and then click again.
This is the next one. That is called manual launch.
It's in it right now. And if you look at the display, there's a green icon. See it right there? So then it will launch.
It launches quick instead of that little delay with the transmission. That is new for the Z06.
Wow.
There's also an option if you go to settings, automatic recording, configure. Right now it's set to only do it automatically if you are in valet mode.
Okay.
If we take that out of only in valet, now it will start recording every time you hit the start button automatic. And you can also have it to override if the car gets full. Instead of just stopping, override. Oh, I'm sorry, if I turn it on, it should override whatever's on there. But that's the two different options that you can have with the PDR. Either way will work. It's just one, you have to stop it manually. The other, it does it automatically when you hit the start button.
We still have all the track overlays, right? So we have sport.
That is correct. RPMs, G-forces. And by the way, the camera is up here, as you can see. You see it on the screen. And if I go back and go to track preview, this is a live preview. It shows speed, lap counters, gear, steering wheel center, RPMs, and a different look at G-forces.
Perfect. So you have all the racing data that you would want for analysis, and then you have the drag settings as well, because 0 to 60 in, what, 2.5 seconds almost? 2.6 seconds?
Absolutely. And this is where you can download custom tracks if you have the toolbox. Or if you went to the track for the first time, you can hit custom track, follow the instructions. It will outline the track and record everything there as well.
We got to take a moment and just glance at this engine right behind us. This glorious flat plane crank. Can you guys see that if I focus in? Totally different look now, huh? Totally different. And you know what I'd love to do actually? Is mount a camera like right here facing out the window to see how much it like shakes towards red light. Would that be pretty crazy, you think?
That would be cool.
Wow. So this is the first ever museum delivery here of a Z06 and many more to come.
Absolutely.
This is an exciting time, a whole new era for Corvette. And I really appreciate you giving such a thorough and in-depth tour. I'll let you pull it out because that's the protocol here, and this is the next exciting part, right?
It is.
Everyone starts like flashing, and this gets to see the light, right?
Get it outside, get some pictures, you see it in the
carbon
light.
fiber opened up and everything. Let's do it. Well, let me hop around and take it out for a spin.
All right, let's do that.
Stacy, we got a convertible Z06 coming in. Second one is in with the carbon fiber wheels on it. Pretty similar spec to mine, I think. The mirrors, but he has a tan interior, or whoever owns the car. Wow, and it is a Z07 equipped vehicle. Insane. Doesn't have the carbon interior, but has a tan. Red brakes, red on red. Z07 convertible. The time is finally here. The era has come. The Z06s are landing at the National Corvette Museum. More down there. Look at that. Another torch red one with the Z07 arrow on it. This is insane. This is the grand finale, right?
Grand finale.
Now I know we got to break it in, but when you pull out, just give it like a 1,000 RPM quick pull out or something. You gotta give that. Are we in the loudest setting?
We are.
Oh my gosh.
We are in my mode. I'm gonna go back to it and show you real quick. My mode. Engine sound wide open.
Thank you, Guy.
There we go.
Whoa, here we go, guys. It's finally happening. Delivery of the Z06, first one at the NCM. And wow, I'm speechless right now. Here we go. This is so crazy. This thing is wild. Thank you. This is it. The journey is about to begin, man, across the country.
Can I keep it?
If you want more like small rev in the tunnel. Thank you. Enjoy the ride. It's more than a car, it's a Corvette.
All right, we're gonna take some pictures here in front of this mural. Wow. Hopefully kind of the angle here.
This is it, first time in the sunlight. The carbon fiber is glistening. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
And this is it, outside in the sunlight in front of the National Corvette Museum. Please let me know, what do you think of the red and the yellow? It looks so crazy in person, especially with the stitching. Reminds me of my 2020 C8 with the torch red, but I'll be honest, I'm super happy that I got this color combo spec. I wasn't sure about it, but having all the carbon fiber just glisten in the sunlight. Let me turn the ND filter tighter so you can see a better shot. Look at all the carbon fiber just glisten all throughout this. How is this a Corvette? This is a total, this is supercar status, I think, all the way. Please let me know if you're getting one. What is your specs? Down below, let me know. Real quickly though, dude, thank you so much, man. This guy, he's the best, and getting the full tour, the white glove treatment with Stacy here from the National Corvette Museum. This is why you do it. You come out here because it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience being able to get a car like this, and to meet so many fellow enthusiasts who love the brand, love what they do. It fully finishes off the package, and I would highly recommend that you look into it because not many brands actually offer something like this. And ask for Stacy or someone else here because they're all good and nice. Alrighty, that's going to wrap up the delivery process. And next up is the journey. Please stay tuned on Instagram at speed_phenom for more updates along the trip. If you want to check out the car, totally down for that. Really appreciate you guys watching this video, and stay tuned for all the racing adventures with the Corvette Z06. Next up on the process, I think we just got to break it in, right? 500 miles and then 1,500 miles for track use. But I do want to get on a dyno. If you have a dyno anywhere nearby, once I break it in, let me know. Let's put on the dyno. I want to find out what it actually puts down to the wheels. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button to help me out, and subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. I'll see all of you in the next episode.